Good evening, and thank you for joining us for News from a Catholic Perspective. I'm Wyatt Goolsby, in for Lauren Ashburn. The White House is backing the GOP health care plan as Republican leaders in the Senate focus on finding the votes to pass it. White House counselor Kellyanne Conway, a longtime pro-life advocate, says critics aren't providing the whole picture.
I just don't want everybody scaring people to think that they're going to lose their benefits and their coverage without giving a full accounting of everything that this includes. It includes very generous expansions of health savings accounts.
Democrats hope to scare off as many Republican votes as possible by planning efforts around the country to criticize the measure. They say the GOP plan would mean fewer people with coverage and higher costs for many. Already 4 Republican senators say they're not ready to support the bill as it's written, but they're open to negotiating. Now, Senator Dean Heller of Nevada says he opposes the bill too, but for different reasons. Let's go now to Capitol Hill correspondent Jason Calvi with more. Jason?
Wyatt, the 4 original senators are Ted Cruz of Texas, Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, Mike Lee of Utah, and Rand Paul of Kentucky. They say the proposal is an improvement on Obamacare, but it doesn't do enough to lower health care costs, a major flaw they see in the current law. I asked Senator Paul what his concerns are.
Senator Paul, what's it going to take to get you to yes on this health care bill?
Well, you know, so far I've looked at the bill, and I'm for repealing Obamacare, but it doesn't look like it repeals it. It looks like it keeps Obamacare. The subsidies in the bill are virtually identical to Obamacare. We haven't really lessened the subsidies. In fact, our early estimate is there may be more subsidies in this bill than there are in Obamacare. We're also concerned that the spending in this bill in the first year or two may actually exceed Obamacare spending. That just doesn't sound like repeal to us. I'm concerned also that the death spiral of Obamacare with the rising prices and premiums in the individual market, they don't fix it, they just subsidize it. They dump a bunch of taxpayer money into the insurance companies and say, please lower your rates. The problem is that we don't have any money up here. We're $500 billion in the hole this year. So I think we really can't afford to add new entitlement programs. And it's just not a very conservative notion to think that the federal government would be giving money to an industry, the health insurance industry. They make $15 billion a year. Why in the world would the taxpayer be asked to give insurance companies money?
What's the odds that this is going to pass?
I think the odds that we have negotiation are good. There are 4 of us right now, and we're hoping to negotiate together. And if the 4 of us work as a team, I think we can make the bill better. Can we make it good enough to actually support? We'll see how the negotiations go.
The Planned Parenthood defunding, I know 2 Republicans want to see that stripped out. What do you say?
Planned Parenthood, if you gave them no money, you would notice no difference in the country other than you might have less abortions, which would be a good thing as far as I'm concerned. I don't think the government should pay for abortions. Everything Planned Parenthood does is done by community health centers. The bill actually gives more money it gives the money you would have essentially given to Planned Parenthood, gives it to community health centers, and community health centers don't engage in anything that's politically, divisive or divisive. So I think it'd be better to do most of our health care screening and things through community health centers and not through Planned Parenthood.
Thank you, Senator Paul. Thank you.
Several pro-life leaders met with Secretary Price today at the White House. The president of the Susan B. Anthony list spent some time there at the White House, and she says the draft does include pro-life priorities. Those priorities are to defund Planned Parenthood and also to ban those tax credits from going to plans that fund abortion. But she says she's very worried that those pro-life priorities could be stripped out for political or parliamentary reasons. Wyatt?
Jason, I know the U.S. bishops came out with a statement on the health care bill. Where do they stand?
They also praised the pro-life language in the Senate bill, but they say they're worried that cuts to Medicaid will really hurt the poor, and they're urging the senators to make sure they protect that population.
Capitol Hill correspondent Jason Calvi for us in the Senate tonight. Thanks, Jason.